Look at Charity.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to season 2 of the Authentic Black Mama series. My name is Charity Walsh, and I was a part of the first season, which aired last year. I was a part of the last season, and so I was the one sitting in the hot seat. I was the one being asked the questions, but this year I get to ask the questions. But I did really enjoy being able to just speak freely about being a Black mama. Kudos to you, Shell, for this series. I think it's amazing to hear from varying perspectives of mothers, of Black mothers who all have different experiences but can relate on some level. So I really, really enjoyed being a part last year to just be able to take a step back outside of just being a mom and being able to really reflect on the highs and even the lows and just the things that I've learned as a mom. So I'm very, very excited to be back with my dear friend, my sister, Jamila. Welcome. You can introduce yourself. I'm sure everyone is happy to see you. You look great. How do you feel?
Thank you. I feel good. I'm nervous, but I feel good. Um, my name is Jamila Curry. I am a dear, dear friend to Charity and a wife to Aaron, a mom to four beautiful kids, born and raised in Charleston, South Carolina, now living on the West Coast in Washington, and just really excited to be here on season 2 of the Authentic Black Mama series, and just excited to share. I don't know what.
I thought you were going to say, first giving honor to God, who's the head of my life. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Church was this morning, though.
Okay, you're right. It's evening. Well, from season 1, the women from season 1 were asked to nominate a Black mama to interview. And it took me about 15 seconds to sit and think about who I would choose. Literally 15 seconds. And then I was like, no brainer. I mean, who else would I choose? I think that you're an amazing mama. I love you. I love your children. And I think that it is great for you to be able to share your journey with everybody else. So let's get started. So we can start with you just sharing your story, sharing your journey as a mom. You have, like you said, 4 children, varying in ages. So let's just hear it. Let's hear your thoughts about you being a mom.
Yeah, so I have 4 children: Maxwell, who is almost 12, Matthew, who is 10, Aaron, my only daughter, she is 8, and my baby boy, Michael, who is 6. I don't know why we gave them all M names. It's really hard to keep up with who is who. But I don't know. I don't know that I have like a story of how they came to be. They just kind of kept showing up like, oh, you're going to be my mom now. And so here we are, where you can hear us before you can see us almost everywhere we go. We are a loud bunch. We are a lively bunch.
The
4
Curry
kids,
crew.
4 different personalities. The Curry crew. Live and in living color. Yeah, I don't know. What do you want to know?
Give me personalities, what makes each different, because I know they're all very, very different. So yeah, your journey, what you've learned along the way. I have some questions that'll lead into that, but just an introduction to you and your children.
All right, let me go through my starting lineup. First, there's Maxwell. He is my intellectual and my artist. He is currently customizing his tennis shoes for back to school because he says he's got to be swaggy. So yes, he's going into 6th grade, and he's just really, really tender, really thoughtful. And then I have Matthew, and I don't have any favorites. I'm gonna just start there because my husband is like, Matthew's your favorite and you treat him blah, blah, blah. I don't have any favorites, but Matthew definitely knows the way to my heart. He is probably the most deeply thoughtful child that we have, because his brain is always just churning. He is also just like his father. So all the things that drive me nuts about Aaron, he has a lot of those qualities. So while I'm like, oh, Matthew, I'm also like, Matthew. And then my daughter, she is a nurturer. She's so loving and kind. She has never met a stranger, and she has never been any place that she hasn't made her home. And I love that for her, but it also scares me from time to time. But she is very sweet and kind, and open to all people. And then we have Michael, and he's the youngest, but he is our old man. um, he is talking to you like an adult. He is never in a hurry for anything. And he's going to let you know what he's thinking. So that's my four.
Okay, you told us that Matthew reminds you a lot of Aaron. Who reminds
Mhm.
you a lot of you?
Maxwell Curry. Maxwell is me through and through. Even down to some of his facial expressions. He will look at me a certain way, and it like takes me back, because it's almost like looking in a mirror. But also the way that he thinks about people, the way that he interacts with people. A lot of his reservations, a lot of the things that he gets excited about. I can see me in him, and also the things that drive my husband crazy about me. He's got those traits. And so he's like, oh boy, you are your mother's child. And I love it.
I love it too.
Mhm.
So, we learn a lot in this journey being a mother. What are some of the lessons that your children have taught you? And it can be collectively, or it could be individually, or it could be a combination of both.
Ooh. Um, okay. So one of the biggest lessons, and probably one of my greatest joys watching them, is the way that they forgive. They do it quickly. Like they forgive each other so quickly. They apologize, they say what they're apologizing for, and it's like they have a split second to decide whether they're going to forgive their sibling or not. And sometimes they say, it's not okay, but I forgive you. And I'm like, oh man. And it just, makes my heart sparkle, because that's that's a lesson that's really tough to learn in adulthood. But if they can learn it now, then it's going to be better for them when they get older. It's going to be great for their mental health. So that's probably um, one that stands out the most. But my daughter, um, she chooses joy every single day. There is not a thing, um, except maybe the 400-meter dash, that she does not get excited about. She's like, you say, go brush your teeth. She's like, okay, let's brush our teeth. Guys, it's time to go. You say, get your shoes and get in the car. She's like, woo, we're leaving. And so she is excited about everything, and she chooses joy every single day. And, as an adult, we can get bogged down in the stuff that we have going on and the things that are going on in the world. But then to look at my kids and see them actively choose joy regardless of what's going on, I think that's a huge lesson that all of us can take away, really.
Agreed. So, speaking of joy, what brings you the most joy about your children?
About my children, just seeing their personalities. Like, they're all so different, but they come together so well. Like, in our house, we have this huge sectional, and you could have a whole party on the sectional, and everyone in your house has a place to sit, and they sit on top of each other in a corner every single time. And I don't have small children. They are not tiny people, but they sit so close to each other, and their legs are all like crossed in and their arms are around each other, and they watch TV this way. And that is joy to me because I love my siblings. We are not close like them at all. And so to see my kids and to see them have their different personalities, want different things, but still at the end of the day come together and it's just them. That's joy for me because it makes me feel like I'm doing a good job at raising them individually and collectively.
You are doing a great job at that. Really, really. And so with that, I know you said that, you love to see that in them, and I know part of it comes naturally for them, but
Mhm.
part of that is also fostered by you and Aaron. So what do you think that you've done to really create that environment and foster that within them?
Um, I think one huge reason is that we move so often. My husband, for those of you that don't know me or new to me, is a former professional athlete and now a coach. And so we've been married for 12 years and we have moved 9 different times. So my kids, they have been a part of the journey from day one. My 2 older sons were born out here in Washington, and they've gone East Coast, West Coast, back and forth. But every time we move, they have to start over. And when we go to a new place, they're all they have until they start school, and then they make friends um, in their classrooms or on the playground in their sports. But at the end of the day, they come home. And they come home to each other. And we have this rule in our house that if you can't be friends with your siblings first, you can't have any friends. So don't go to the park and think you're going to meet some kid and leave your sibling behind, because now you got to come sit next to me. Like, we don't do that. And so that's probably our biggest thing. But I think for them, you know, because we're so mobile, um, they're just with each other all the time. And they fight, but they don't fight.
Yeah, they fight
They
like
like
it's
each other.
innate. Like it's just that it's part of what you're supposed to do when you have siblings. I get that.
Right. Like, I don't want to watch that, but they want to watch that, and nobody wants to watch what I want to watch. Like, those are the kind of fights they have.
Right.
Mhm.
What scares you most about being a Black mama?
Um, I don't know. I used to be afraid that my parenting would have them on somebody's couch talking about me when they're 30, but now I pray that they're on somebody's couch talking to somebody when they're 30 and younger or older. Therapy is a wonderful thing. So I hope that they do take advantage of that, that they have access to that when they're older or even now if they need it. Um, that used to be my fear. My fear now is that we are in a space that is a little challenging in our neighborhood. We have neighbors that don't speak to us for, I don't know, whatever reason they have. But, and sometimes my parenting, because I'm protective of them, I fear that that may alienate them from the people that they are around, or maybe they feel some type of way for a lack of sense of belonging. Um, and I just wonder how they cope with that, how they internalize that. But I don't know that I really have a fear because I think they learn from everything. When I'm wrong, they tell me when I'm wrong and I apologize. So I think we, develop a strong relationship in that. Um, every opportunity is one to learn and grow from. So I don't know that I'm fearful of anything, but I am concerned about their well being when they're in spaces where there's not a lot of people that look like them.
Understandable. And, I think that our generation, we parent a little bit differently in the way that we speak with our children about those kinds of things. It's not oh, they're too young to talk about these tough things. So when those difficult conversations do arise, how do you approach that? How do you let them know that, you know, although we live in this big world and we have to be in communion with other people, sometimes other people may not understand us or may not want to understand us. How do we foster those conversations?
Well, first it starts with Big Aaron going, man, bump them people. that's
Agreed. But you know,
that's the first part of the conversation. That's usually how it starts. Like he's across the room. But I think our main thing is reminding them who they are and whose they are. That they are fearfully wonderfully designed by the creator of the universe. And nobody has anything on that. Like God made me. And so we teach that to them, and we teach them that, you know, well, just because other people are ugly don't mean you have to be ugly too. Um, you know, we treat all people with love and kindness and respect. And we try to emulate for them that people deserve to be seen, heard, and loved. And I think the only way that we can truly teach them that, regardless of our words, is to let them see that in action through us. So when they have a run in with somebody in the street or at school, we call a thing a thing. You know, it is what it is. We don't shy away from that. There's no, well, there's maybes. We talk to them about microaggressions. We validate their feelings. Like, you felt that, and that's real. And we're going to acknowledge that. And then you build your roadmap on how to proceed thereafter.
awesome. I want to go back to the whole moving thing. You spoke about how that has really helped your children be very, very close. And I love that. I can relate too. I mean, we moved around a lot as when I was a child as well for different reasons, but I'm an Army brat, but I don't think I really gave any thought to how that affected my mom. So as a mother, how does that affect you? You spoke about, you know, your children and how that kind of helped to foster that built-in friendship within the four of them. But how about you? How do you handle that? How do you deal?
Uh, hmm. For a long time, I just kept my guard up because I knew that, like, you know me, and you know I'm a very relational person. I love people. I love interacting with people. I'm not really great at small talk. I'm a meat and potatoes kind of girl. So, you know, if we're going to be friends, like, we're friends, and there's nothing you can do about it, really. But when you move so much, for me, it's hard because you develop relationships and then they're like torn away. And so for a long time, I refused to allow myself um, to get too deeply involved with any person on a personal level. It was like, hey girl, how you doing? Oh, that's cute. And that's kind of it. If I saw you, it was a great time. If I didn't see you again, it's fine. I'm probably not going to ever see you again anyway. Um, and I was fine. So I thought, moving in the world that way. And then we lived in Charlotte for 6 years, and it's the longest that we had been anywhere. And I kept my guard up for 4 of those years. 4 of those years, I'm like, we're probably gonna be moving. There's no need to like dive in. I'll be here. It's fine. Um, and then I dove in. I was like, oh, well, it's been 4 years. We're probably gonna be here. And I went in head first and developed some beautiful relationships. Got really involved with our church, our teens at our church, which was everything to me. And then we moved, like, not just like move down the road, but we moved across the whole country. And I'm like, oh, okay, see, I knew I should have held on for another 2 years. Um, but I'm thankful for the relationships that I built then. I still keep in touch. I'm thankful for technology that keeps us closer, even though we're over 2,000 miles away from the people that are near and dear to us. Um, but sometimes it's hard. So here we came. And I spent 6 months trying to get my kids acclimated to a new place, new schools, figuring out, sports activities. And then the pandemic came and shut everything down. So I haven't been able to make those connections with other moms or, other wives in football or any of that because you can't see anyone. Um, and so that has been a little bit difficult, but I do think that what has helped me is all the moving before and being somewhat isolated and all the moves has helped me through COVID because it's not like, oh, I'm lonely or whatever else. It's like, oh, I'm new to this. I'm true to this. Like, it's
Oh,
good.
deep now. You bet.
Right. Like by myself. What? Yes, thanks. Give me a plant.
I was going to ask you too, because I know you named your plants. Does this plant right here have a name?
This one does not. And I feel bad because I'm actually in the office that was supposed to be Aaron's. And I put this plant in here because the windows are amazing. And he goes, you need to take that plant out of here because the rest of the house is like a jungle. So he's like, no more plants. And I protested and I just left it in here. And so he doesn't have a name, but I don't know. It's a boy for sure.
Okay, we'll work on it. I'll tuck that away. I might give him a name. So, you spoke about moving around and it being a little tough on you. And it's totally understandable, especially like you said, moving right before a global pandemic that has yet to end.
Yeah.
So what do you do for yourself? First of all, I know that you're extremely busy. First of all, you got way more kids than me. So just kidding. But I mean, children are going to keep you busy. Your life is going to keep you busy. What do you do when you have downtime? What do you do for Jamila?
Downtime. What's that?
What's that?
Downtime. I got 4 kids, and when they start moving, it's like 12 of them up in here. Actually, Peloton and plants. My Peloton has been, I don't like this ain't no ad or nothing, but has literally been my saving grace through this pandemic. I get up before everybody else except for Aaron. I get up at 5 a.m. and I go and I work out. And that allows me to be up and alert before my children wake up. So I'm not cranky because I'm really no good until about 9:30, 10 o'clock. So anything earlier than that is not my best. So being able to get up and work out before the kids are up, I'm fresh, I'm, fully energized at that point. And as odd as it sounds, like taking care of plants as if I needed more things to try to keep alive. But they make me happy. I get to see them like my kids, but like before my eyes, I get to see new leaves come out and grow, and I get to see my kids care for them. And so it has been really awesome. It's been great for my mental health. It's been great to like meditate in a space that is full of the outside but inside. And so there's that. And, I go for a walk in the evening. And that's kind of how I take care of me. And recently learning to do my nails, although they're not done today.
I've been trying to keep mine off camera because mine are also not done. So if I see it kind of cute, I'm like, nope, come back. Anyway, so 5 a.m. Woo! But I understand why that's important. So with 4 children, with your busy life, 5 a.m. you're up. Is there a daily routine? Does it switch up? How do you manage that? Do you feel like your time management skills are amazing? Are you using apps? Are you using a planner? Like, how do you run the Curry household?
By the seat of my pants. No, I just recently, just this month, and it's actually working out for me. I got a planner. I bought one last year. I was very, very hopeful, and then like didn't use it at all. But I bought a planner and I have filled out my entire calendar for August. And then every Sunday, I go to the weekly section and then I write everything out again because I have to write it down. If I don't write it down, it does not exist. I don't care how many times you told me. I don't care if it's in the calendar in my phone. If I didn't write it down, I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? I'm old school that way. But my routine is pretty much the same every day. I get up at 5 a.m. I drink my little pre-workout. I get on the bike. I lift some weights. And then I take my time to get ready in the morning. I come down. I read because I just started grad school because why not? Um, so I come down, I read, I do assignments. My kids get up. Sometimes they cook, sometimes I cook. Um, and then we go about our day. And it's summer, so there's not really a bedtime until I get tired of parenting. So, and that's kind of how the day runs. But with 4 kids, you definitely have to write everything down. A lot of times they have to remind me, like, Mom, don't forget I have this, or don't forget I have that, which is very helpful now that they're older. But I don't I don't have a system that I think works for me. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Understandable. But with that, I know you said, your children are older now. And so I know that's brought at least a little bit of ease. Parenting it's so interesting because it happens. You feel like once you get a grasp on this and then something else, they get older and then you got to learn something else again. How have things changed in the last few years as your children have gotten older, more independent? I know, Maxwell is your right hand. You can lean on him to really help out. But how has all of them aging and getting older kind of helped and really leveled up, not only in your motherhood, but just in general in life?
Like you said, Maxwell is my right hand. He is the oldest. He takes his role as the biggest brother in the house very seriously, and he's very nurturing to his siblings and occasionally asks for more. That's not a thing. But right now, Matthew has really been stepping up because he is my little chef. He is my little Remy, Ratatouille reference. But he has always loved food. He has the palate of an adult, and when he eats, he experiences food. He doesn't just like eat for sustenance. He experiences it. He's like, is that what is that, Parmesan? Is that garlic? Like that's how he does food. And so lately, this summer, he's been stepping up in the kitchen. He wants to learn how to cook more things. He helps my husband on the smoker. This morning he made eggs because I was taking too long. Um, and so he does that kind of thing. He'll make sandwiches, grilled cheese, that kind of stuff for his siblings if I'm caught up in the middle of something and not, available. Then he will step up and do that. Erin, with her getting older, she's just a lot more observant to the people around and highly emotionally intelligent. And so she's very cognizant of how things make people feel. And she helps in like, hey, earlier today something happened and I noticed that, insert brother felt like whatever. And then like what can we do about that? And so she really challenges me to be intentional about my parenting. And even if that part of the day has gone, there's still enough time to slow down and revisit earlier parts of the day, to see like how we can improve something, to be mindful of someone else. And she helps me to make sure that um, each child is seen. Because she definitely sees everyone. And I'm like, man, she might be a better mom than me, seriously.
That is so awesome, though. That is so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel like a mom? I know, you're four in, and they're not young anymore, but do you ever wake up like, I got four kids, like I'm really like doing this mom thing?
Every time I have to drive that big old truck and figure out how to park it, I'm like, if this ain't a mom car, I don't know what it is. Just slap a soccer ball on the back and I'll be straight. Um, I do because, my younger ones still need a lot of help with a lot of different things. My older ones, our relationship is changing because it's less um, instructional, less directional, and a lot more like conversational, and gaining their insight on their experiences. And so, with Maxwell especially, he's at a point in his maturity that he can come to me with something and I can say, well, what do you think about it? How does that feel? Well, I would advise this, but ultimately the decision is yours. And whatever happens, you need to be ready to deal with it. So that's kind of where I am in my relationship with him. The rest of them, it's still like, okay, hey, listen, I know this is what you want, but I'm telling you, so this is what we're gonna do. So yeah, I'm momming real hard over here.
Amen.
Yeah, but the relationships are changing, and it's wonderful to see them just evolve, and see the things that just change over time. And with Michael, I'm holding on to every bit of it because he is the last. He is the last. Um, and I'm holding on for dear life. And God has been kind to me by keeping him small, like petite. So I can still like pick him up and he still snuggles and all that kind of stuff. So I still get that really tender part. But then as they grow, there's still lots of other tender parts too. They're just in different ways that are really sweet, in how we connect.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to read a statement and I'm going to give you blanks to fill out. I'm going to
Okay.
read it first. I'm going to read it 2 times. I'm going to read it first with the blanks. So, being a blank woman has made me a blank mother. So, being a blank woman has made me a blank mother. And I'm going to ask you to fill in the blanks.
I would say being an empathetic woman makes me a tender mother. Because I feel all the feels. Don't you do it.
No, only
Don't
because
you do
I feel like only because I feel like our answers are very similar, and I think my answer was that one.
Don't do it. We were good.
No, I'm good. I
We were
promise.
good,
I'm
y'all.
done. I promise. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. No, but seriously, like I feel all the feelings all the time. They are very intense all the time. And that's not an exaggeration of anything. Energy is everything for me. It doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter how well put together you are. Energy is everything for me. And I feel it immensely. So, like, even if I'm out and amongst people, like, you might not see me for another 3 months because I am tired. Um, just from feeling all the feelings. But because of that, I think that has helped me to be in tune with my kids, even if I'm upset with them. Um, it helps me to say, you know what, I'm upset, but they're learning. Or, I'm excited about this opportunity for them, but they're afraid. And so it makes me softer towards them because it enables me to put myself in their shoes. And because of that, I can have more open conversations with them and I can validate them, and validate their feelings, but also use those feelings to build them up and to empower them, um, in their lives.
And how about softer towards yourself? Do you allow yourself that grace? I know that you're tender with them, but are you tender with you? And do you allow them to
I
see when you need to be vulnerable, if you need to cry it out for a second?
Yes, I used to not be, because growing up, I was taught like, don't let anyone see you cry, because then they'll think you're weak. Um, Here we go. And so I kept that with me for a very long time, and I would feel lots of things very deeply and not say anything about it because me me feeling was me being soft. But as a mom, I need that softness because they need that softness. Having a daughter is a game changer. I used to straighten my hair, and then I had a curly haired girl. And I might straighten my hair once a year. And as soon as she says something about my hair, when it's straightened, I go back to curly because I don't want her to think that her curly hair is not good enough or isn't beautiful. So even if my preference is for my hair to be straight, well, I've learned to love my curls and all the wild and crazy and the high maintenance because I need her to love herself just as she is. Um, being being softer for them has made me softer for myself because as you know, I have battled for a very long time with body image, and my weight has fluctuated, and it has been really low, it has been really high, it has been very uncomfortable. But the way that I speak to myself, my children are internalizing. If I am mean to myself, if I'm hurtful to myself because I don't look the way I think I ought to look, um, then my kids start thinking, oh, because you got a little extra macaroni arm, something's wrong with you. Versus, my mom is a soft place to land when I need to cuddle her right now. Um, uh, Shifting from, oh, I want to look a certain way to actively teaching my kids, no, food is fuel. Like we need this to sustain our lives. And so, what we put in is what we're going to get out. And now they see me choose foods that give me more energy, that make me feel better. And so they see that change. And when they see me like working out, it's not to be a certain size. It's because I want to be stronger. It's because I want to live a long time, because I want to be around with them and for them. And so that has created a huge shift for me. I don't know if that answers your question, but that has definitely been an area in my life that has changed because I am now a mom and I have children. And for my boys, like, how are they going to view women? Like, everybody is beautiful. Every body and everybody is beautiful, and it serves its purpose. And so wanting them to, view women, or view themselves in a way that, like, my body was given to me. It's a temple for the Holy Spirit. It's my job to maintain it and to take care of it, and not be mean to it.
I need to lighten this up. I'm sorry. we need to laugh a little bit. So now I'm going to ask you about some of your favorite Black mamas, like on TV and movies. Like, who do you crack up at? Who do you maybe even possibly emulate? Like, who is that mama for you?
Okay, so growing up in the 80s and the 90s, Claire Huxtable
You was
was
gonna go with
that
Claire.
mom. No, no, no. Hold on now. Hold on. Just hear me out. Okay.
Okay.
I love Claire. When she read Elvin about that coffee, I was like, one day I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to be able to say, hold up, wait a minute. First of all, back it up. And it's going to come out so nice that they're going to get me coffee. That was the goal. My kids definitely scratched the record on that and told me that I was Rochelle. So now when I watch Everybody Hate Chris, And then Rochelle is doing something in the background, and Matthew is the first one. He's like, "Mom, that's you, Mom." And I'm like, "Really? Am I Rochelle? Okay, well, I like her anyway. I mean, Pam going Pam."
Pam go Pam. Pam going Pam, and you gonna laugh.
Yes. So Rochelle is
Okay.
is my favorite mama right
Okay.
now.
So now when I watch, and I watch with Denia. When we watch, I'm gonna be like, look at Jamila, Rochelle. Okay, do you
Mhm.
have a favorite Black mama saying?
Um, I have two. Okay. So the first one is I might have been born at night, but not last night, which means I ain't boo boo the fool. Like, you're not gonna get over on me. I already know what you up to, been there, done that, wrote the playbook, cut me my check. Um, no. So I love that one. I've used that a couple times on my kids when they trying to like trick me, or like maybe get me to do the opposite of what Aaron already told them. And then my second one is probably um, not a full statement, but something's coming after it, and I love it. Is now look here, or because we from Charleston. Look y'all now.
I was hoping you would pull some in. I really was. I was.
So, and I love that because um, it can go either way depending on the situation. Look, yeah, could mean I sat that on the table, go get it for me. It could mean I'm about to read you, so get ready, or I'm about to build you up. You gonna cry. You might not like everything, but I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to hear. So look, yeah. Um, and I love that because I mean everybody from your grannies to your aunties to your moms to your neighbor down the street that just really cares about you, as a black woman, um when you hear, now look here, something is coming and somebody is going to be gathered, and however you are gathered is totally up to you and what the situation calls for, but it is necessary, and I absolutely love it.
I love that too. I love that too. Thank you for that. Okay, I think we
Yeah.
are kind of getting short on time a little bit. So I want to
Mhm.
end with you giving advice to mothers, whether they're not a mother yet, whether they're new to this, whether they're old school. What advice do you think that you can share or provide based upon your journey?
um for mothers in waiting, I'm gonna address them first. Moms that are expectant currently and waiting with an expectancy, um, because those moms, those women, um, really do have a tender place in my heart. Um, Pray, and this can go for all moms across the board, but for moms in waiting, pray for your baby, pray for your partner, pray for yourself, because like newborn baby smell and tiny hands and feet are absolutely precious. But it's so much more than that. It's such a huge responsibility. We are dealing with tender hearts. We are growing and developing young people into adults that are going to be, hopefully, loving, kind, compassionate, caring, contributing members of society. And we need to be equipped to do that. And there are going to be days where we're going to feel inadequate, like we don't know what the heck we're doing. And we're going to need to even have humility, for myself especially, to ask for help and then accept it. Um, but I don't think that we can do any of that without prayer. For new moms, you, new moms, all moms, I'll just say you are exactly who God needed to raise the child that you have. You have the attributes, the qualities, everything about you is what your child needs to become whoever God has created them to be. You are enough. Trust your gut. Listen to your children, because they are wise people. They are little, but they are wise beyond measure. So listen to them, listen to yourself. There are going to be lots of people out there with lots of advice about how they woulda, coulda, shoulda done something, but you know your child, you know their personality, you know how they respond to things, you know what they need. Don't be afraid to ask for help, but also trust your gut and instinct on what to do about your child. And that would be my advice. And love yourself. Take care of yourself. Make time for yourself, please. I am just getting into the groove of this, and it is the best thing ever for me to say, to be able to say, listen, not that raising kids or doing things for them is an inconvenience, but it is time consuming, and sometimes we forget about ourselves. So it has been a blessing for me to be able to say, hey, listen, you, I'm worth you taking time to not be able to do what you need to do right now so that I can take care of myself. We hear all the time, you can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't. So take time to fill yours. And that's it.
Agreed. Agreed. This has been great.
Mhm.
I hope it's been great for you and for everyone watching. I love you. I love that you did this. I love that you shared, you bared your soul, you poured your heart. Any last words before we leave?
I just want to say thank you to you for nominating me. Thank you to Shell for putting this amazing series together. I thoroughly enjoyed it last season, and look forward to seeing what all the other moms have to say this season. Charity, I love and adore you. You are absolutely amazing, and I am going to stop there before this turns into a cry fest. Um, but all moms, you're doing an amazing job. You're doing an amazing job, and I hope that if you hear anything that I've said today, that you just take that and know that you're doing great. You are exactly who your child needs, and that you take it and just rub it into your heart, um, and let it sit there.
And I have no choice but to agree with that. So y'all hear that, mamas and not mamas? Okay.
And not moms in waiting. Y'all are doing great.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, thank you again.
Thank you.
I'm actually not sure how to end this. But
Bye.
bye. Bye, girl. Talk to you later, girl. Thank you
I
again.
think that's all right. Love you.
Love you more.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.